Hello, hello. Welcome everyone to the Undo Redo podcast. Welcome back. I'm so stoked for this episode because mostly I get to talk about the question that I get asked the most. What should I do? What should I do, Lisa? What should I do about my marriage, my kids, my boss, my diagnosis, my debt, my life? It's the question we've all asked. I ask myself that all the time. What should I do? But what if the real problem isn't that you don't know what to do? It's that something inside of you doesn't trust yourself enough to decide. It's obsessed with finding more information or a better way of doing things. This episode is going to bridge between stuck and steady in decision making. And it starts with the truth that your brain really doesn't want to hear. What should I do? Honestly, I don't know what you should do. And if I had all the answers, I would tell you. And I get it. We've all been there. You hit a wall and a situation gets complicated and suddenly you're just staring off like, cool, okay, what now? But before we go there, I really want to kind of celebrate some of our wins, your wins, because this podcast isn't just about asking better questions and finding out more information on what we can do next. It's about honoring the work that it takes to answer the questions and to put the implementation of this work into your own life. So I get messages from you all the time, and you're sharing your moments of clarity, the moments that you decided to change. And you're thanking me for saying things that you have taken into practice and used in your relationships and in your life that have made a big difference for you. And I'm excited about that. So I want to share a couple. One woman from my fall 2024 course, Undo Redo course, she had a moment with her son that shifted her view. And she said, I realized my son probably is going through things that I don't even understand. I don't have to take his behavior personally or try to fix it, which was good news. She continued to say, what I can do is hold a steady, safe, loving space for him to go through everything he goes through. And I loved that. Mic drop. What happens when you observe your thoughts instead of obeying them blindly? And then there was a cute gal at my most recent event last month where we worked together as a large group going through hard emotions. And we played with our 5 senses. It was really fun. She told me, I'll never forget when you said to connect with people before you correct them. And it has worked with everyone. That one shift might change everything for me with my kids, my husband, my sister, my parents, and I will always use that. That's really cool. I'm really glad. And I know because I've used it, it's made such a big difference in my life. And we can just take a second to let those land because it's not a big dramatic move. Nothing is changing around us. It's just a subtle shift inside our minds. Because when you're not trying to win in that moment, you can lead that moment. You can show up differently, and that changes everything. I want to rewind with you for a little bit because years ago, decades ago now, I had a friend who was moving and she needed some help. I offered and it was no biggie, and I'd never been to her house before. When I walked in, I was shocked at how packed it was, stacked to the ceiling and floors. Not all junk necessarily, and you could call it, hoarding or being a hoarder or whatever. It was a pretty good pile everywhere of some useful stuff, but it felt heavy in there. It was unused, unwanted, unsorted things. And her family was overwhelmed. She was stressed, but she couldn't let go of many of the things, if any of the things. So we moved it all into her new house, which was twice as big, and it all fit. She had plenty of room to breathe. But guess what happened later? Yeah, the same thing, the same clutter, the same overwhelm, the same stress. It followed her. It followed her because nothing inside of her had changed. She had the same habits, the same routines, the same beliefs, the same stories about what her things meant. So even in a new space that looked amazing and you think your problems are solved, She created the same problems in the same space she was living. And it just makes sense. We do this too. We move, we change jobs, we switch partners or friends, we go on a cleanse, we start fresh on Monday. But when we don't sort through the mental clutter, our beliefs, our stories, our survival strategies, we'll just recreate the same patterns in a new place. Outside change looks good for a minute, but inside change, that's the kind that sticks. And it brings me back to that big echoing question, like, what should you do? What should I do? People assume sometimes that I'll give them kind of a tidy answer because I'm a life coach, right? Hey, Lisa, you'll know. What should I do? But when I say, I'll help you find your answer, they kind of just blink at me. Wait, so I'm paying you to tell me what I already know? And I'm like, yeah, every time, because it's true. You probably do know. You're just buried under a pile of mental clutter, like my friend's boxes and useful and unuseful things. Just a bunch of beliefs that you've inherited, a bunch of things that worked for you that are no longer working for you, expectations that you aren't questioning, fears you've never sorted. Your brain is brilliant, but it's still trying to keep you in that comfort, in that familiar, because the unfamiliar isn't safe. It can even feel like it sucks. So when you ask me what to do about your exhausting marriage, your defiant child, your toxic job, your chronic pain, your diagnosis, your past, your future, or the awful conversation that you've been avoiding with someone, I will give you the same answer every time. But you will have a different answer for yourself every time, depending on when you catch up with me this month or 3 months from now. You will have a slightly nuanced, different answer for yourself, because we aren't the same today as we will be tomorrow. And what worked for us last year won't work for us next. I have a coach because I'm always changing and you're always changing. This is logical, right? Because your brain will convince you to stay stuck no matter where stuck is, because it's safer than changing. It will offer you excuses that sound noble. They're going to sound they're justifications that feel logical. Avoidance that looks responsible. Or the numbing options that feel necessary. We better go binge on something and overeat, oversleep, overwatch something. But underneath all of that noise is a still quiet voice that already knows your heart and knows your mind and knows that you just need enough quiet time with yourself or enough courage or confidence so you can hear that part of yourself. So instead of asking yourself, what should I do? Start asking, what if it's part of you that's so terrified to grow? Because the answer is in leaning into that. What belief do you have that keeps you clinging to things right now that aren't working? Back to my friend with that full house of stuff. The solution was never a bigger house. It was smaller attachment and smaller stories to what no longer served her. It was giving her things a proper ending. This has got to make sense to you. So, do you want to know what to do next? Try stopping the story that says you can't change until someone else does blank. Try letting go of the identity built around being stuck and unable to make decisions. What if I'm horrible at decisions? Well, then how am I ever going to get good at it? Because when I'm 50, I'll still be saying I'm horrible at decisions. So between now and 50 years old, in that short space, I didn't try being good at it. Of course I didn't. But when you clear out the mental hoarding of the shoulds and the what ifs and the yeah, but, and all the excuses, your inner world becomes clear. And we all know our outer world reflects what's inside. Imagine things being effortless. Wouldn't it be nice? Sustainable. Yes, please. Because it would last. Steady. Steady would be good instead of off again, on again. And it's not because life got easier. It's not because somebody came and cleaned up your stuff. You can pay somebody to do that. And then you just go right back to your same habits and make it messy again. It's actually because you stopped resisting the work that it takes to make that new thing your reality. Maybe there's a better way to say that. Instead of pushing away from it, you lean into and you practice and you start to implement new things, and it becomes your day. It becomes your reality. Next time you feel like asking yourself, what should I do? Don't reach to someone else for the answer. Their thoughts and opinions are going to be much different than yours. They don't belong to you. And you're powerful enough to rewrite your stories anytime you want. Your mind is the most underutilized asset that you have. It is so valuable, and we're just not using it because we're afraid to walk into that hoarded home and part with some of those things, because then we have to do new things and they're not familiar. If you'd like to know more about what it looks like for you in your situation, go to connect.elisamortensen.com and schedule a consult call with me. I will guide you through finding your own answers. We remove things that are blocking you, get rid of the false beliefs, so you can leave our conversation with hope and clarity moving forward. Simply put, all of that, get on a call with me. You'll get instant relief and you'll have tools that you can use immediately for changing your situation. It's easy. It's simple. It's almost so easy. You'll be like, does that really do it? It totally does do it. So if someone came to mind while you're watching this or listening to this, be sure to share it with them, because that's how it works. Heaven answers our prayers, oftentimes through others. And sometimes we don't know what our options are until we go exploring them all. So give someone another option to choose. We'll talk to you again next time. Bye.